And let's go and do a drawing, because why not? Except I don't actually have an artist set up, so this is going to be weird. So I'm going to be recording this on my phone. We're going to be recording it like this. I'm going to use the book as like a stand. You're not going to fully see exactly what I'm doing, but you know the book's there in spirit, and I'll do occasional checkups every now and then. I do have a few other things I'd want to say, but I'm thinking of actually doing the rest of this video in a voiceover and just potentially speeding it up, so if you see the next part sped up, you know what's going to happen. And as you already saw, I already did the sketch and all that. And also, I'm going to apologize if the audio is not the greatest, because I'm never the best with getting the timing exactly right for just doing all that type of stuff. I'm using a Micron 03 and a Micron brush. And if I'm able to get the coloring, I'm going to be using my Ohuhus and my Copics for that. Now, for just generally talking about this video, it's going to be mostly about Splatoon, because this is supposed to be a Splat Sona, or just an Inkling Sona / Octoling Sona. I don't know what you want to call it, because I've never actually played the game, and I don't know what people call it in the fan base. And I do just kind of generally mean that, because, I don't know if I consider myself a fan or anything like that. I like the concept of Inklings and Octolings, and even some of the fan creations like Salmonoids and stuff like that, or whatever they call it. I like a lot of things that the fan base has done, but I've never personally played any of the games whatsoever. I don't know per se if I'd actually enjoy playing the games, considering it is kind of like a first-person shooter game, except with just paint instead of bullets or things like that. I don't know if I'd fully enjoy it because of that, but maybe at some point if I can save up enough money to get the game, I might get Splatoon 3 or something. For my character specifically, I wanted to make them an Octoling, mainly because I actually really like the designs of the Octolings a bit better, but also when I first did this, I initially designed every single one of the characters as Inklings, because at the time only Splatoon 1 was out. I don't think Splatoon was even announced yet. I will say, however, when I draw my boyfriend, if I'm able to get that far at some point, I'm definitely going to make them an Inkling, but give them an Octoling hairstyle, because in the game they have the afro, but the afro is primarily an Octoling exclusive, and I kind of want him to stay an Inkling. I don't know why, I just like the idea. I will say one of the biggest things that I do genuinely like about Splatoon is the music. I just like the concept a whole lot, but the music itself that often goes with it is really, really nice. Hey everyone, it's a voiceover Kirby here. I forgot to actually say that I was going into the voiceover. I could have sworn that I recorded a part talking about that, but it might have gotten out of order or something like that, I don't know. But yeah, for this part it's going to be a little bit sped up and there's no audio. I just want to do a voiceover and just talk about some other stuff. I'm generally thinking about my art as a whole and just what I'm going to do with it and everything. I really do want to get a bigger and better setup for doing it. Doing it, I mean doing traditional drawings on paper. It's gonna have to be something that's super duper big. One of those stands would be just fine, but I haven't looked into that at all. I've also been thinking about getting back into animation. I keep saying that I'm gonna get back in animation, but then I just don't do that. And I understand why, because for the longest time Procreate's animation thing is not the greatest, at least getting it onto YouTube anyways. I've seen people, especially on YouTube, use a mix of Procreate and Flip-a-Clip or some other art form, and then Flip-a-Clip for the animation itself, which I've actually really liked the way that turns out. I love that Sir Fluff does videos like that, and it's good. I didn't even know that you could transfer your drawings into Flip-a-Clip, and it's such a big brain move. Thinking about bringing back Fusion Pandesane, which is an old thing from the start of this channel that I don't know if it would do super well, but I have a lot of gems. I mean, a lot of gems, I wrote them all down, and there's so fucking many of them. I didn't even count, but there's probably at least 40. But, I just feel it would be nice and interesting to see me fuse my own gems instead of just doing gems from, the show and stuff like that, because that's what the initial Fusion Sunday started off as. I think if I genuinely did that series again, I'd have to redesign a few of the gems. I wrote down on, the paper that I wrote all of the gems down on that, some needed potential redesigns, others needed full-blown redesigns, because I just hated how they look and stuff like that. And I still am going to stand by that, because some of the gems that I made were just not it. I think that would be a good idea. Comment it down below. I would like your input in that kind of stuff. Non-art related news, I've been playing a shit ton of Minecraft, and I am working on a drawing, but it's lineless, so it's gonna take ages. If I'm to be frank, I'm working on like 12 different drawings all at the same time because my pea brain can't decide when to stay on a single project for super long. Like, I literally just joined another Draw This in Your Style challenge by one of my other friends, Zephyr. Whilst that is going to be the main priority, the second most priority is going to be that little lineless piece because I really like drawing in that style, and I especially like drawing the Minecraft characters that me and my friends have created. Since last time, the Sona that I used for myself was not the greatest. I'm changed my skin, so I'm gonna use that as a character instead of it just being a self-insert of my very being. And on top of like playing Minecraft and all that, I have been getting roughly back into Pokemon. I've been moving a little bit more into Pokemon Violet because I finally got my shiny Goodra, which I think y'all saw not too long ago. I think it was legitimately like the video before this, but like I'm still hunting for shiny Fuecoco so that way I can get shiny Skeledirge and all that stuff. And I haven't touched Brilliant Diamond and Pearl for a while yet because the fighting type gym is beating my ass because I don't have any Pokemon that could actually like genuinely do any damage. Only speaking, the one flying type that I could probably get, which is Shirley, is a few roots back, and even then the evolution is also still a few roots back, which I don't want to go and do right now, unfortunately. Anywho, I'm signing up for now. Okie dokie, Mr. Gnocchi. We finished the outline. Time to erase all the pencils. Okay, erasing with my phone in my hand is not the easiest, so I'm going to do the rest off camera. Okay, I might have to invest in new erasers, but each has been erased. It's now time for color. Well, technically it's time to walk my dog, but it's time for color. Okay, now that my fingers are successfully thawed and the baby is fed and happy, let's go back to coloring. Here we back, and this part had to be significantly slowed down because this was like 20 minutes long. I have better topics to talk about, like the fact that I potentially might be going to college at some point. I'm able to go back to college, which is really dependent on whether or not Grandma and a few of the other family members can like talk and get it all set up so that I can go to college. I'd probably be going back for psychology and a few other classes on top of it, because I kind of want to go for like my bachelor's degree in psychology. I'm potentially thinking about that if I do go to college, I might want to live like on campus in like a dorm, which would be very exciting but also kind of terrifying. I want to do it because a friend of mine named Emily and I had like this talk a while back where like after we both like got out of college, we'd like find an apartment together and live together potentially. Eventually my boyfriend would also try and move in there too, but like we both were like, that would be such a neat idea. And I'm also realizing I'm saying like a lot, but you're gonna have to deal with that because that's just part of who I am. But like, it's an interesting idea because we would be able to like split rent and help each other out. And it would be interesting living together because we've had talks for a while to like start our own podcast too. Whole kerfuffle kind of thing going on. I'm not sure if anything's like set in stone as of yet. Anyways, life aside, let's get back into art a little bit. Been especially working on like Final Boy. I'm getting really close to where I was left off on Foodpocalypse, which was I think like 20 pages or 19 pages. I can't remember at this point because I haven't worked on it in a bit, but like I like how both stories are slowly kind of coming out. Overall, I'm really just happy with a lot of the stories that are coming out. And like, I guess going back to Minecraft a little bit, like, I have a world that is tied to the characters that I've been drawing for the last bit of time. And I love this world so much. Originally it was called Home of My People, but then I made an experimental copy version of it that's called Brita Filter. Honest fans will get that reference. The thing about Brita Filter in and of itself is that this was before I understood things like entity cramming and how particles can affect the overall speed of the world. And Brita Filter, because of that, is immeasurably laggy because I spawned a shit ton of frogs and a shit ton of bees, and I had so many spore plants everywhere that the game ran at like, I'd say like 15 frames per second. The original version of the world, home of my people. I'm playing that version a bit more because it's easier to play on, and I also can correct the mistakes that I made in the past. Saying this a little bit, but I think I actually like the original non-experimental world a little bit more because I've been watching a few like Minecraft YouTubers who've been doing like these big things. I've been watching like Easy, I've been watching The Notable, I've been watching Green, I've been watching so many different like YouTubers that are specifically doing Minecraft that like my building skills have improved a good bit. I worked on a lab as of recently that took forever if I can do. I built like a foggy infinity flooring and walling, and I built like this floating like piece of land in the sky that I still gotta work on because I gotta make the nether portal up there. It's just super duper interesting, and I love how the world is coming out. It's allowed me to kind of correct the mistakes that I made in the previous world that I couldn't recreate in the new world. Of like trimming every last nook and cranny of the tree, I'm actually like making builds in between certain areas to like fill up this space so that way I'm not having to plant trees for like 3 weeks on end. That was a burp at the end. Regardless, like, it makes me excited for the 1.20 update that's coming out eventually, because in that update, we're getting cherry blossom trees. And when that happens, hopefully soon, so that way I don't, like, overflow the rest of the area with, like, all these other trees, I will be putting down a shit ton of cherry blossom trees, because they are beautiful, they are majestic, and I'm gonna try to make so many fucking builds with that cherry blossom wood. Even though we're also getting archaeology and new bases and stuff, and I'm gonna say it, I understand that a lot of people really, really like when we get, like, these big, drastic updates that, like, change the whole game and stuff like that, but I'm gonna say that I actually appreciate the minor updates that don't do a whole lot, a lot more, because, like, even though I love, like, the big updates that, like, add new mobs and, like, these new mechanics and all that shit, it's, like, I enjoy them, but a lot of them that I personally won't deal with, because, like, especially most of the time when people say that they want, like, these new mobs and stuff, they want, like, new hostile mobs that they have to go up against, like the Warden and stuff. And the thing is, like, knowing my ass, unless I get, like, full netherite armor that I can enchant and stuff like that, which is gonna take forever for me to do. I haven't even been to Ender Dragon in any of my rules. That's just the reference. But, like, unless I go that far into it, I can grab, like, an elytra and learn how to use an elytra in freaking Pocket Edition. I'm not gonna be touching mobs like the Warden or something bigger than that often, because I often die doing that type of stuff, and it scares me a lot. Some hardcore dweebozoids that exist out there that are like, well then why don't you think play on peaceful all the time? I do, and people don't mind because they aren't dickholes to me for playing on a mode that doesn't have any mobs other than peaceful ones, or at least keeps the mobs that are neutral in nature fairly peaceful. I will play like the occasional like easy mode, but that's like as far as I genuinely want to go in a lot of cases. And even then, I play both on the iPad and on a Switch. And on the Switch, I've gotten double fucked multiple times over, especially by creepers. And I don't even want to tell you the amount of times on iPad that I just hate the fighting mechanic on there, because it's so hard to move around and that kind of shit. Oop, here comes the end. We are done. I tried to base the colors on his actual like, freaking stuff. Oh my god. I think it kind of works, but it is a little bit bright and it's a little bit much. I do like how the hair is busting out, though. I'll work out this design as I go along. But I thought you guys liked this. I'm gonna try to get some better finishes up at some point, eventually. I don't know when. But yeah, see you next time.